again. Just kidding. If you saw us try to film a video on this exact car on this exact day with me wearing this exact outfit, that never happened. No, not at all. Just kidding. In today's video, we're doing a full in-depth walkthrough of everything you need to know about the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Ultimate Calligraphy in this new model. So for 2026, the Palisade went through a full redesign. This vehicle is now bigger, it's better, and there's a whole lot more going on. Now, I have already dedicated a separate video towards just the redesign in general and what you can expect, but today we're focusing in on the Ultimate Calligraphy. This is the very top trim level available on the Hyundai Palisade, and we have the gasoline model to showcase today. Because we're doing this video live streamed, we're open for mic failures, camera failures, even me falling down. So not only does that make it entertaining, it also means things are completely unscripted. It's just us giving you the facts about this vehicle and answering your questions. So towards the end of this video, if you have anything you'd like to know about this particular car or the Palisade in general, let us know in the live chat and I will dedicate a few minutes just towards answering some questions. I also want to mention that today is Adam's very second day here at the dealership with his co-op placement. So he's helping out with some camera recording. He's going to be the cameraman. So take it easy on him, take it easy on me. This is our second time trying, and if there's any mic difficulties, let us know. I do also want to start off before we get into the walkthrough with the price point. When I first filmed this video, it had just arrived at the lots and there was no pricing announced on Hyundai Canada's website. Now, if you're looking for the Ultimate Calligraphy in the 3.5-liter V6 powertrain, you'll have an MSRP of $62,499 Canadian. That's before taxes and fees. Okay, let's get into it, Adam. So he's going to grab the camera and flip it for us, and we're going to get right into the exterior and powertrain walkthrough. Starting off with the exterior color. This is called the Galaxy Maroon, a color that looks black, especially because of our camera quality. However, in person, the paint does have a beautiful red, blue, and purple sheen. Sounds a little crazy, I know, but it's not too in your face. It is very, very much a subtle, classy color with a beautiful metallic flake. Fortunately, I don't think you'll see the metallic flake today, but I will post a video this weekend all about the paint itself. On the Ultimate Calligraphy, you also get a couple exterior design exclusives, one of which is this grille. So the grille is quite large on all models of the Palisade, but you get a couple more upscale touches when you reach the Palisade Calligraphy. So this beautiful satin chrome finish with wide horizontal lines in the hood that definitely add to the overall appearance of the car. It's going to give this vehicle a bit more road presence, and you can't look at it without thinking, wow, that's a big grille. It looks good though. For your daytime running lamp, we have one expanding all the way across the front grille too, so that also widens the whole appeal. Sorry, I'm blinding myself with the bright lights. For your main headlamp on all trim levels, you'll get a bold, bright LED. LEDs are standard on this vehicle, no upgrades necessary. They're going to last longer and burn brighter. They also don't emit heat like a traditional bulb, so they're more good on energy. That's not a great way to say it, but they're far better on energy. That's why they last a whole lot longer. For the bulbs themselves, you can see we have some positioning lights located here, and then our main also included for daytime running light here. I like to call this our fang, vampire fang-esque light, because, you know, it's a little pointy like that. When you do turn the headlamps off on this vehicle, you'll notice that the actual housing has a silver paint to it. So that means when the lamps are off, they kind of disappear and look like it's just a part of the overall exterior design. Take a look now. So I really do love the look of this. It blends in perfectly with the rest of the satin chrome along the bottom. You also have forward-facing parking sensors, a front camera placed right smack dab in the middle of the grille. That's going to help you with your full 360-degree view, and active aerodynamic air vents on the vehicle too. So these panels here will open and close as your vehicle is on to allow airflow through your vehicle. Now, I think it's only fitting we talk about the powertrain. There's two powertrain options for the Hyundai Palisade, and that's the first time ever we're seeing that in our Hyundai Palisade lineup. The option we have here today is the 3.5-liter V6, which displacement-wise, it's slightly smaller than last year's Palisade. That model was only available as a 3.8-liter V6. For our powertrain and horsepower specs, we have 287 horsepower with 260 pound-feet of torque. This vehicle is also going to be more efficient than last year's powertrain. So although our displacement is a little bit smaller, we're not losing a lot in the power department, but we are gaining in the fuel efficiency department. It's rated at 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers combined, and that is highway and city driving. I believe last year was rated at around 11.1. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right in this case. Transmission-wise, we have an 8-speed regular automatic transmission. So with a regular transmission, we have a torque converter. There's no dual clutch, there's no CVT, there's no IVT, just a regular automatic. That provides this vehicle with nice, smooth shifts, no utter jolts or bolts, no sticking, no droning, just smoothness. That's also something you'll really feel the difference on with the V6 powertrain. Our V6s give great linear power. It's solid power too, so while it won't feel like a race car, it's gonna feel steady. It's also not a noisy powertrain, and just the Palisade in general comes with a lot of sound deadening materials. We'll see it on the tires, which I'll talk about in a second, but also in any body panel of the vehicle, there's enhanced sound deadening giving you a very quiet ride. If you do plan on towing with this vehicle, the V6 might be the better option because it does give you 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, and all models of the Palisade, even the hybrid, will come with a heavy-duty transmission oil intercooler. Now let's take a look at our wheels. The wheels are a design exclusive to the Ultimate Calligraphy, so no other models will have this 21-inch alloy. Matter of fact, none of the other models have a 20-inch alloy period option at all, not just this design. So a beautiful sputtering finish with not a gloss black insert, but instead it's a gunmetal or dark gray finish with the machine finished elements on the outside as well. It's a classy look. I love that they didn't opt for an all black look. Your center cap is gloss black with their Hyundai emblem, and your tire is a Pirelli Scorpion all-season tire. But that's not the only thing that's special about them. I mean, Pirelli is a good tire brand, so it is a more upscale tire. They're also acoustic tires. What that means is there's actually an inner layer of foam within the rubber itself to give more sound deadening to the tire, so less road noise and a more quiet cabin experience. Pretty cool. The Ultimate Calligraphy will also be the only trim level in the Palisade lineup to offer body color cladding. So this wheel arch, sorry, brain fart for a second, wheel arch is actually not gloss black, it's the Galaxy Maroon finish of the rest of the body. Your windshield will have your rain sensing wipers. You also have 2 cameras located in the very center, one for your lane safety systems as well as your forward collision avoidance, and the other for your dual channel dash cam. Now, dual channel dash cam is a key word here. For the first time ever, we are seeing integrated dash cams in our vehicle, starting off with the Palisade. It's only available in the Ultimate Calligraphy, so that is a highlight to this trim level for sure, and everything's accessible from the vehicle's head unit. You also have power folding mirrors that are body color with a turn signal indicator and a blind view monitoring camera. The monitoring camera is one of the many puzzle pieces towards creating your full 360-degree view, but it'll also show you a live feed every time you go to indicate a lane change. I do want to talk about the all-wheel drive system. I don't want to get too in-depth, but I want to share what's special about it. Number one, it's H-TRAC system, Hyundai's all-wheel drive. It primarily is front-wheel drive, so that if it's a regular day and you're on dry pavement, you're not wasting unnecessary gas powering the rear wheels as well. This means that if the vehicle senses slippage or a little bit of loss of traction, it'll automatically redistribute the power and bring you right back up to front-wheel drive when it's necessary or safe to do so again. If you as a driver want to change it though, there is a drive and terrain mode select, with the terrain mode select allowing you to choose between snow mode, mud mode, and sand mode. Snow mode is about an 80-20% torque split, so 80 to the front, 20 to the rear. However, it can go to 50-50 depending on your speed and the amount of wheel spin. If you're in mud mode or sand mode, it'll be 50-50 locked. For your door handles, they're body color, and we got proximity entry with digital key entry too. That means you can unlock, start, and drive your vehicle from your phone and share access. If you don't want to do all that, that is okay. This vehicle can be as simple or as complicated as you'd like. You can simply keep the key somewhere on you, walk up to the car, reach for the handle, have it unlock, and then press on it again to lock it when you're finished. Your roof rails are raised, and they're in a beautiful satin chrome finish, just like the rest of our exterior elements. And that satin chrome translates towards your pillar as well. Mind you, it'll only be our rear pillar, as the A and B pillars will be gloss black. So there's a beautiful mix of materials on this car. For our rear, it's probably time for me to mention the rear suspension. So we got a multi-link rear suspension, which handles road bumps and lumps very, very nicely. Might not be a cornering beast like a sports car, but let me tell you, it can handle just fine in corners too. Now, another huge benefit if you are towing is the fact that it's a auto-leveling rear suspension. So multi-link, but also auto-leveling. That means if you are towing something and the back end of your vehicle is starting to droop, it'll automatically adjust it to make sure everything is at a proper height at all times. Towards the rear, we got rear parking sensors, as well as 2 rear cameras. The camera located between the I and the S in Palisade is for your reverse camera, your backup camera that most of you are used to. However, up here, just underneath the spoiler, we have our digital rear view mirror camera. I'll show you what that looks like when we get inside, but this is the location of the camera itself. It's worth noting that this year is the first year that we have washers for both cameras. So when you go to use your rear window washer, it'll also spray both camera lenses. So clear cameras all the time. All right, I think it's time we open up the rear. Size-wise, the Palisade has grown, so we're about 2.5 inches longer in the wheelbase, a lot more space in the third row, and just more space all around. So the vehicle has certainly grown in size. However, I will say, I'm a smaller person. Driving it does not feel like driving a school bus. It is still extremely easy to maneuver, and the changes that they've made, especially to the second and third rows, have really made a difference in comfort of your passengers. So first off, let's start with the third row down. With them down, you can see we have a completely flat space to work with. There's a ton of room over here. Now, should you choose to move them back up, everything is done powered, and it's done on the left-hand side of the cabin. So I can select with this button here if I'd like to control the second row or the third row. Pressing it will cycle between the two. And then I can move my seats up and down. So if I want everything up, we'll do that. Oh, everything is already up. If I want everything down, I can push it down. Now, when I have selected my third row, I can choose to bring the seat up. What am I doing wrong? There we go, like this. And if I pull both triggers, it'll pull both sides up. If I push both triggers, it'll push them both down. So while powered usually also means slow, at least I don't have to reach in, open doors on all sides, and maneuver things myself. So it's convenient. We have 3 seats in the back, each with car seat tethers. And on the Ultimate Calligraphy, you only get the option of the 7-seater configuration. So 3 in the rear, 2 in the center, 2 up front. One thing they've added on to the 6 Powertrain is a spare tire. So here we have our jack. We also have a handy placement for our tow hooks. So it's good that they're not rattling around loose. Some of our other cars do have that. We've got our hitch receiver, because here's where things get important. This is the first time ever we have a vehicle coming from factory with an OEM integrated tow hitch. So let me show you. I'm not actually going to take the cover off, but I'll tell you what you get. Now, if you opt for the XRT trim, the luxury trim, or the Ultimate Calligraphy trim, you get that heavy-duty transmission cooler. Matter of fact, all Palisades get that. But when you get one of those 3 select trim levels, you'll also get the integrated tow hitch. So just behind this body panel here, you've got 2 screws along the bottom. You'll unclip this, and you have access to your integrated hitch. This also means that we have the pre-wiring, and we have a select tow mode inside of the vehicle too. So if you do want to hook up a trailer or even something like an accessory hitch to hold your bike rack, you can differentiate between the 2 within the vehicle. So if it's a bike rack, you might not be, again, using the full 5,000 pounds capacity. You're going to be using a very, 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 very small percentage. So that means that the vehicle isn't going to change the way it's shifting gears or the braking. However, if you also have a heavy-duty trailer, more so in the 5,000 pound range, you can cycle between turning that or your accessory on so the vehicle knows what's attached behind it. So it's very smart indeed, and you have separate trip computers for when you are towing versus when you're just regularly driving. Now, if you do tell your vehicle that you have a hitch or a trailer assigned to your car, it'll also automatically disable the rear parking sensors. That way, every time you throw your vehicle into reverse, it's not going to freak out at you because you already know that the trailer's there. Coming along to the gas door, we have got a larger fuel tank on this vehicle. It's a 72-liter tank, and on a full capacity, we have about 600 kilometers of range. Now, this vehicle just arrived from factory, so it hasn't been really driven in a real-world situation. If you're someone who does a lot of highway driving, you'll certainly see better fuel consumption just because that's how cars are. They're better on the highway versus stop-and-go traffic. And then on the hybrid, we will have a smaller gas tank and of course a completely different powertrain setup. I can answer some questions on that later if you are interested, but for now, let's focus on what we got in this particular model. On the inside, the Ultimate Calligraphy will add on Napa leather seating surfaces, so a very soft, supple, buttery leather. It's available with 3 different colors. So we've got the black here today, and I will say, I do love the black. It's classic, but it's a little boring to show on video. I feel like a lot of things kind of get washed away or forgotten about on camera just because everything is the same color here. But let's try to bring some of that excitement back with the driver's seat. So this particular trim level will be your introductory trim to a relaxation driver's seat. Right now it's in relaxation mode. That's why the seat's all the way back. The passenger seat and the seats in the rear, the second row I should say, do the exact same thing. So they go into an almost zero gravity feel, great for if you're stopping at a rest stop and just need to relax for a little bit. I'll move the seat back to its normal state. You can see we have a ton of controls here, so let me quick fire explain what they do. This first button will be your knee extender. You got the height and angle of your seat next, your backrest, your lumbar support, that's changed by pressing in all 4 directions in this circle here. But you can also adjust the bolstering of the seat. So if you'd like the seat to hug you a bit more or be a bit more loose, you can change that on the fly. This long button here is how you can quickly press and hold to get into relaxation mode or right back up. On the left-hand side on our door, we have our memory seat controls. Now memory seats start on the XRT trim but work their way all the way up to the Ultimate Calligraphy. And then this particular button is a top trim exclusive. It's called an Ergo Motion seat, and when you press that button, it'll cycle your car between pelvic, lumbar, and whole body massage. So you can have your car massage you while you drive if you're the driver, which makes this car, or this seat, the best seat in the house. Your sound system is a Bose premium sound system, and we have 14 speakers in this vehicle, including a sub in the back. The steering wheel is leather wrapped and heated, and both your driver, passenger, and second row seats will be heated and ventilated, with the very third row being heated. 3 different levels though. This is the first time we've ever had our third row heated, so this is a big deal for us. I'm gonna have Adam join me on the passenger side, and I'll point out the seat as well. All right, quick look under the hood again. And if you want to refresh on the horsepower and torque specs, we got 287 horsepower with 260 pound-feet of torque. Before you hop in, Adam, I'm going to have you hop out some of the design elements on the seats. So again, Napa leather with 3 different color options. This, of course, is black. We've got calligraphy embossed into the headrest, so a beautiful, nice, subtle touch. And then a little bit of a almost metal design accent. This doesn't get in the way of your back comfort. You don't even feel it at all. But it looks good. It's nice to see. Now, the power controls for the passenger, we got our relaxation seat right over here. So if you'd like to put it in zero gravity mode, but you also have your lumbar support 2 ways, your backrest, and the height adjustment. So lots of quick changes for the passenger. A couple more Ultimate Calligraphy exclusives before we get into the general things. Your headliner is a deluxe suede. So it's a very, very soft feeling headliner, and it's dark. If you like a dark and moody cabin, you're gonna love the black interior with this headliner. They go perfect together. If you don't love the completely dark look, don't worry, there's other options. You also get a heads-up display, which is a 10¼ inch heads-up display. I'll take the camera from Adam to show you what that looks like. Oh, there we go. Sorry, you guys. Today is definitely not a good technology day for us over here. So there's our heads-up display. You can see your speedometer as well as your speed limit warning. So that'll give you the maximum speed limit of whatever road that you're on and let you know if you're going over it. If you have a route set in your navigation, it'll also show you your turn-by-turn, and that also includes your phone's maps too. So if you have an iPhone and you're using Apple Maps, oh, you can take it, Adam. If you're using Apple Maps, it'll show your Apple Maps turn-by-turn. If you're using Google Maps and you have an Android, it'll show your Google Maps. I'm desperately waiting for the day it lets an iPhone user use Google Maps. Fortunately, today is not the day yet, so hang in there with me and I'll let you know if there's any updates. For your main screen over here, it's a 12.3-inch display that's completely touchscreen. Very easy to use and very easy to change. So if you're never using SiriusXM or you never use the trailer menu, all you have to do is press and hold and kick it somewhere else. So it's very customizable, just like a phone. Same thing with the dash cam. I already mentioned earlier that it's integrated into the head unit. So I have both views of the front and rear camera. I can watch it live if I'd like, as long as I'm not driving. And I can also check out my clips. If the vehicle senses that there's been an impact, I can have it to only start recording then, or I can have it recording at all times on the main screen here. So let's turn it to on while driving. It's as simple as that. You'll just press the parameters of when you'd like your vehicle to be recording on its camera. If you don't want to use this at all, it's as simple as checking it off. So, nonetheless, very nice to have built into the car. There's no hard wiring into your battery needed, no other, companies to deal with, no aftermarket people. It's just integrated from the dealership and it's OEM approved, right? For your gauge cluster, this is a little different. It's a fully digitized 12.3-inch display, and we also have our infrared camera here that watches you. So there's 8 cameras in this car, really. This is our driver attention warning, and it just makes sure that your eyes are paying attention to the road and checks for inactivity. For the 12.3-inch gauge cluster though, fully digitized of course, showing you everything you need while you're driving, speedometer and tachometer included. You can cycle between your different views, so whatever you like best while driving, and just make it relevant to you. The left-hand side has your driver assistance controls, including your smart cruise control, high assist level 2 if you are on the highway, and then our steering assistance. The right-hand side is all about media, so we got our voice commands, our volume, our phone, and our media modes. Mounted on the steering wheel is our paddle shifters. That'll cycle you between all 8 gears. It's exceptionally nice to have paddle shifters on a vehicle that might be towing, because if you would like to put your vehicle into a lower gear, that is very, very nice to do so. You may notice that this car does not have a traditional gear shift, so that's where paddle shifters come in handy. For the gear shift though, it is column mounted. So it's a shift by wire, meaning that all I have to do is have my foot on the brake, and then I'll twist the end knob to reverse, neutral, or drive. And then the P at the very end, or the button at the very end, is park. Your ignition is also located on this stalk here, so foot on the brake, as long as the key is in here, you'll press the ignition button and the car will turn over. Pretty simple. Now, because the gear shift is not located in the very center, we have a lot of room for other things, one of which is our wireless phone charger, our deep cup holders, and a UV sanitization tray. So the sanitization tray is located right in here, your glove box. You don't have to have it on or running at all times if you want. You don't even have to use it ever. So this can just be a regular center console if that's your preference. Let's close this up now though. Underneath this floating center console, we have a fair bit of extra space. So whatever you'd like to drop down here, you can do so, and it won't roll away because this is a almost sticky or grip-like rubber material. There's also a 12-volt inverter and another top shelf. Your climate control is all accessed on this touchscreen panel, but I'm so thankful that they've also integrated real dials. So in a world where every car manufacturer seems to have, their heated seats or every function really hidden on some sort of screen, it is really nice to see these things. Oh, guys, I have no idea what's happening with the camera today. It's really nice to see these things still have touch controls. Above that, we have some of our media controls, so home, map, search, media, our hazards button, and then some more seek into knobs for the radio or the stereo. All right, I think that sums up what I mainly want to hit on in the front. Another Palisade exclusive for the Ultimate Calligraphy is the dual sunroof. So we've got a sunroof up at the front. This one opens the glass, and of course the cover is manual. The one in the rear is simply a glass pane, so it does not open to allow air in, but you do have a power cover. So if you'd like to close it or open it, it's just the touch of a button. Now let's take a look at the second and third row and get a quick idea of space. Alright, so I'm gonna have Adam press the shoulder button on that captain's chair, and that'll bring, oh, I'll press it for you. There we go. And that'll bring our seats into a more upright position. So Adam, before you hop in all the way, I might have you step out again. We're gonna get a quick look at our total dimensions and area. And I will have the real dimensions in the description simply because I'm not a robot and I can't remember all of them. The seats themselves are extremely wide. So these are premium seats to sit in. You don't have to throw kids in here. Adults can be in here and they'll be just fine and comfortable. Seats are wide. You get the upper seat back just like the front of the vehicle with those metal accents. Both seats will have armrests, and they are heated as well as ventilated. They're also power controlled with all of your elements being located on the outside panel. So we have that relaxation seat, just like the front, that allows the seats to go into a zero gravity feel, and your rear passengers can relax a little bit, all while having climate and ventilation on the seats. For amenities, we have a household outlet, so a 115-volt charger, 3-prong. And then we have a lower storage compartment, so that's integrated into the glove box area. In front of you, you have 2 USB-Cs. These are 100 watt USB-Cs too, so fast charging. I was about to say kilowatts, absolutely not kilowatts, 100 watts. So fast charging USB-Cs, that's actually something that's quite uncommon for vehicles. Most of them will be slow charging. If you've ever waited for your phone to charge in a car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These can charge a laptop, so very, very nice to have. Up top, we have our climate control, so you can set the exact temperature as well as your ventilated seats, your heated seats. And then you can also go and change the fan speed too, so the intensity, the direction, and the temperature. The fans themselves are located on the ceiling, so perfect for people who might have children in car seats because the airflow will actually go towards the person and not the seat or, your children's knees. It will actually hit them. They'll feel comfy. The seats back here also get the perfect clear crystal audio of the Bose premium sound system. Same thing with the third row because we do have more speakers back there. Speaking of the third row, I'm going to hop in. So I'm taking the harder way, which is walking down the hallway or the aisle that the captain's chairs gives you. The 2 main seats are fairly wide, so they are definitely the better seats to sit in if you do have to sit in the third row. Again, both of these main seats will be heated, which is a first for us in the Hyundai world. We got our air vents up at the top, perfect for airflow, and then we have our spotlights. So these spotlights, you simply just touch them and they shine right down. Very impressive at nighttime. They really do illuminate the whole space here, so if you drop something, you can find it. And LEDs, of course, so premium feel. I'm going to take this from Adam and show you guys some of the seat controls. So the seats back here, a lot of manufacturers will allow you to recline the seats to give you a little bit more room. But do they allow you to move them forwards and backwards too? I don't know, you guys. So with this option, and this is exceptionally helpful if you need to have a full house of people, but you also need to carry goods behind you too. So if your rear passengers back here are small enough that they can sacrifice some legroom, you can move your seat all the way up, and I'm going to do that to show you guys what all the way up looks like. All right, my knees aren't touching yet. That's a lot of travel. I was holding that button for a while. So my knees still are not touching. I'm not too upright, so I have a lot of room. And here is one of my favorite things about the Palisade. No one likes sitting in the third row, unless you're very, very small and a little crazy. But this third row doesn't feel like you're completely confined because look how big this window is. I can see outside. I can see the world around me. That makes me realize that if I get out of this car, I'm not stuck anymore, you know what I mean? I got land. So it's a very, very nice cabin to be in. Third row is not bad at all. Again, I'm still not touching the seat of me, so that is very impressive. You have separate controls for the other side, so the right-hand side, and I'll have Adam quickly show that. So same thing, we have the recline of the seat as well as where it's fixed on the bottom position. So if you would like to bring it forwards and backwards. There's 2 cup holders on either side. USB-Cs as well, and these are more 100-watt USB-Cs, so more fast charging for the third row, second row, and front row. Now you guys, that was a lot. I feel like I spoke a lot. I feel like we had a lot of technical difficulties. A lot of things happened today. What questions do you have? Let's take a couple minutes towards going over them. And again, this is our first ever Palisade, so it's a little nerve-wracking for us. There's a lot more we want to see and do with this car, but there's a lot of trim levels we're waiting on. So if you want to know more about the hybrid, I can tell you all about it right now, but if you want to see it, make sure you subscribe and follow along because we will get them eventually. All right, Adam, I'm going to flip the camera. Oh, that's okay. It only dropped so many times. We can have it drop again. All right, questions, and I am completely out of breath. Do you want to answer any questions today?
Sure, if there's any I can answer.
Okay, I will hold the mic and we can share. Sorry. can't even find today's video. When is Charlotte returning from mat leave? So Charlotte just had her baby yesterday. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing that, but she just had her baby yesterday. She's going on mat leave for about a year, I believe. Okay, I think this is... I don't know why it's not letting me join today's video, so I'm just gonna have to answer whatever questions come up on here. Christian M is asking Adam, what's the square root of 40?
That's an example of one of the questions I can't answer, so.
Mm-hmm. 0 to 60. I don't have the 0 to 60 time at the top of my head, you guys, but I will put in the comments once this video is done. Does this vehicle still offer a choice between second row captain's chairs or bench seat? So the Palisade in general does, however the Ultimate Calligraphy trim level does not. If you do want to have the choice between a bench seat or the captain's chairs, you will have to go to the luxury trim level. But it's worth noting the luxury is only available as a hybrid.
Bring your dream home to life for as low as...
Can you let Daniel review the Palisade? I think we should get him in one day to do it, yeah. Horsepower. So the horsepower and torque of the gasoline model, the 3.5 liter, is 287 horsepower with 260 pound-feet of torque. And then if you're curious about the hybrid, it is 229 horsepower with 329 horsepower with 339 pound-feet of torque. I may have got those numbers switched. I believe the torque is higher. That would be most likely that the torque is higher. Another thing about this gas engine here, it's a 3.5 liter V6 GDI plus MPI. So the MPI will kick in at low load, which is when it's more efficient and minimizes, carbon buildup that GDI is known for. And then GDI will kick in higher load, especially if you're towing. The GDI will deliver more direct power. It's just a bit more efficient, both power-wise and performance-wise. How much can this SUV tow? It's rated for 5,000 pounds of towing capacity. A bunch of people giving Charlotte their biggest congratulations. I will definitely pass it on to her. How does the new electronic control suspension affect the ride and handling of the Ultimate Calligraphy model? So the electronic control suspension isn't exactly new, but it's a smooth ride. It is extremely, extremely smooth. If you're curious about what the XRT trim level has, which is the electronic limited slip differential, that takes things a little bit differently. We haven't been able to drive that yet, but what we can expect from an electronic limited slip is just better control, especially if you are doing more different driving. I don't want to say full hardcore off-roading, but if you are pushing the limits of your vehicle a bit more, that's where the ELSD really does help. The suspension on this vehicle is extremely smooth though. So city driving, our roads are not great. It is very cushioned, very soft, not stiff at all, so it doesn't feel like you're breaking your back. The Elantra N is the great example of a vehicle that normal mode versus sport mode makes a huge difference. This car, all sport modes, all normal modes, all eco modes will feel refined, but you do get a little bit more kick in sport. Is Pat out of the office? He was here. I'm not sure if he left. Sorry, Adam, is there anything you wanted to answer?
I just saw one now, actually. So, 1 second. Adam, how do you figure out which college to study at? I'm having trouble with that personally. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I had a hard time with it as well because, university is a real investment, right? I think that, a lot of factors come to play, not just level of education, but cost and convenience, how close it is. Mm-hmm. For me, I picked Waterloo mainly because of the co-op stuff, being able to work in between my degree, I think is really convenient. But then there's some drawbacks with it as well, I'm still taking classes right now, sort of, so there's not really much of a summer.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah, but it's what I signed up for, right? So yeah. I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be there, I like getting things moving. I don't really like sitting still, so I do think it is right for me.
You got asked if you speak French.
No, not at all. Je ne sais pas. No, 100% no way. I can't. I took a bit of it in high school. I also took a bit of Spanish. Can't speak either.
Oh. Got asked if there's a hybrid trim. There is. It's not in Canada yet. It's expected to start production mid-August. So I'm hoping for late fall is when we'll finally get them to start arriving here. Okay. I think we'll end off today's video. We are at around the 35-minute mark, so thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything we may have missed in the question period, let us know in the comments down below, and I will get back to it as soon as I can. In the meantime, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your support, and we hope to see you again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Right?
Right. Okay,
Right.
sorry, that was me.
Okay, goodbye, you guys.
Thank you.